Hello guys and welcome back to Love Island, and today we have got so many arguments to talk about. We've got a recoupling and I gotta say the drama is really heating up on this show this year. I don't know whether we've ever had such a chaotic, messy first week in Love Island history. I don't know. In the seasons I've watched, most certainly the first week is always quite dull and boring, but like so far, every single episode has been really entertaining. There's been arguments, there's been disagreements, there's been snaky behaviour. Honestly, if they keep this up for the rest of the summer, I might have to stick around and watch it. I might have to, because it is enthralling me at the moment. And I'm kind of gutted that we have to wait until Sunday for the next episode, because it is quite good. But before we get into the episode, I just want to say thank you guys for the support on the channel. Let's get into the video. So first we have to talk about Uma and her chats with some of the Love Island boys. Up first was Io. Io and her had a little chat, a little sort of cheeky chat. It was alright. They were vibing. It was nice, but I was interested to see if it was going to be anything more than that. I think Io is just someone that naturally flirts as he talks. I don't know whether he's actually genuinely interested in her. I think he's got something good with Mimi, and I think he should go with that personally. But obviously, heads do be turning. Do you know what I mean? It's one of those things. And then we had Joey. Joey also got spoken to by Uma, and I'll get into more of like the aftermath of the whole Joey situation because it really did wind me up. But the conversation was nice. It felt cute. It felt fun. I do think that Joey being on the show is still a really weird choice. It's definitely got the public talking. Do I think it was the right choice? Probably not. I probably wouldn't have included him. I probably wouldn't have included any celebrities because I don't think you need them. This cast is already proving to be a lot more dramatic than I think they even anticipated. So adding in more celebrities is a little bit like, I don't know, just feels a bit pointless. And then her last conversation was with Ronnie, and apparently Ronnie and Uma know each other, which is interesting. They both, well, he didn't remember, but she did. She was like, oh yeah, when we're at the Euros couple of years ago at Bawley Ballerson, and I was like, oh, I actually know where that is in London. That's yeah, a little bit orcs, but still, okay, cool. The fact that they know each other is a little bit weird. Well, I say no, they've seen each other before, not in that way, but yeah, still just a little bit weird and funny. But yeah, Uma seems nice. She seems genuinely lovely. I'm excited to see what she brings to the villa. I think she's quite a calm energy, which is something that I wasn't expecting from her. I was expecting, like, I don't know, her to be a bit more like, yeah, I want your man. Whereas she's come in and she's very sort of lovely, and I don't know. I don't know what I was expecting really. I don't know. I think because she came in straight away and kissed all of them, I was expecting her to be more upfront and be like, yeah, I want you. I want you. But she didn't seem to be like that, and I thought that was quite sweet actually. So, guys, what is in the water this series? Because why are the girls crying every 2 seconds over literally nothing? I could have counted about 5 times where someone in this episode or someone in these 2 episodes cried when they had no reason to cry. Like, absolutely no reason. Uma is talking to Joey, and Samantha's sitting there going, I'm so pissed off, I'm so pissed off, I'm so pissed off. And then she's like, and I'm like, why? What is the reason for this? Is it just because he's talking about her? Or, because this is one of my least favourite things that happens on Love Island, and it is really frustrating, is when the boys will be talking and the girls will be sitting there trying to listen in, and they'll mishear what happened or what has been said, and then they'll cause a massive furore argument, just because they've misheard what the boys have said. I think it happens vice versa, but most of the time it's the girls earwigging on the boys, and they've just completely misheard what's been said. And that is exactly what happened in this episode. It's just so frustrating, and it's so childish as well, because I think at your big age, Samantha's not exactly a young pup. At her big age, are you telling me that you have not got the sort of the self-esteem or the I don't even know what the word is to like it's day 3. It's day 3. You've been in here 3 days and you're already crying over a boy because he doesn't like you. Or not, he doesn't like you. He's interested in somebody else as well as you. It's just funny at this point. It's just funny. I actually can't take some of them seriously. It's that bad. So Kieran is facing a little bit of a choice ahead of him. He's interested in Nicole. He's interested in Harriet. And he's just struggling to pick between the two of them. He sat with Nicole and was like, I really want to kiss you right now, but I can't because we're out in the open and it would really upset Harriet. And she's like, bet. Cool. What does he go and do that night? He kisses Harriet in bed. Which, fair game, you're in a couple with her and you're testing the water. Absolutely fair and valid. But, a little bit muggy. But also, immediately when he woke up, he was like, I actually do feel very guilty for doing that. I actually do think that I prefer Nicole. And I was like, okay, fair enough. Good on him for being honest about that. But obviously, yeah, it got a little bit awkward from here because Nicole went to go have a talk to Harriet about Kieran, and Harriet did not mention the fact that they'd kissed. And so when Kieran went over to talk to her and was like, look, this happened last night, I'm really sorry, I didn't want it to go this way, but I'm wanting to know, like, where's your head at, because I do actually like you. Nicole obviously was not very happy that he'd necked off with Harriet after he'd just said to her, I can't neck off with you. Yeah, it gets a little bit complicated, but she was also really angry with Harriet for not even mentioning it. They were literally having a conversation about him mere moments before, probably not mere moments, but earlier on in the day, and nothing, radio silence. And obviously Nicole is pretty upset about that. She's pissed off, she's upset because she feels that she's been taken for an absolute right mug. And bless her, you do need subtitles for her when she's pissed off and angry, because she talks a million miles an hour and it is sort of like, okay. But I rate her. I actually do rate Nicole. I think she's the most interesting of the girls, and I think she's also the one that is giving me the most reason to like her currently. The rest of the girls, some of them are doing their best to make me dislike them. Some of them are kind of just there. And then there's Nicole, who is just fantastic. Lovely person. Absolutely lovely person. So, speaking of Nicole and Harriet, they had a little passive-aggressive argument / conversation that was actually just weird. Obviously, Nicole sat there like, why didn't you tell me? Why didn't you tell me that you kissed him? And she was like, oh, I just didn't think it was the right time. I didn't think it was the... And it was just like, Harriet is... There's more points later on in the episode that really makes me think that Harriet is playing up to the cameras, or what's it when you're like bigging up the drama? Like, she's just making situations worse by being dramatic and causing issues, and it is coming across that way. If it's genuine, I think that's more worrying personally, because I think, is that the kind of person you want to be? This person who is, quite frankly, looking like a mug on national television because you're mugging yourself off. And this conversation with Nicole just kind of proved it. It was just unfortunate because Nicole actually hasn't done anything wrong here. Harriet's not done anything wrong per se. She's just kind of she's just kind of withheld information when she could have done the right thing and been like, look, we did kiss. And yet Kieran was the one that did it, which, like, good on him for actually owning up and telling her. Oh, I don't know. It's very complicated. It's very complicated. So that brings us to Joey and Harriet having a conversation. Joey's a snake, first of all. Joey's an absolute snake in the grass. The way he started this drama really didn't sit right with me. Was I grateful he did? Absolutely, because it was so perfect. The drama was amazing. But was I pissed off with him for doing what he did? Absolutely. So earlier on in the episode, we'd seen Kieran in the dressing room being like, yo, it's Nicole, Nicole, it's Nicole. We're going for Nicole. And the boys were like, yeah, chill, nice. And then obviously, one of the first conversations we saw Nicole and Harriet having an argument. Then we saw Joey talking to Harriet. And Joey goes, yo, you know Kieran was chanting Nicole's name in, like, our dressing room, right? And she's like, what? Huh? And I thought, Joey, why did you feel the need to say that? Because if Kieran was genuinely serious about wanting to be with Nicole, he would have had that conversation with Harriet. He would have had to. Why have you stepped in and been like, yo, just FYI, he said this and I don't want you to look like a mug? Oh, it really did wind me up. It really did wind me up, because then obviously they call Kieran over and Harriet's like, did you say this? Who are you picking out of me and Nicole? And he went, Nicole? And then it just got really awkward and he went, is that all? And then, like, walked off. And I was like, okay, like, good for him for getting himself out of that awkward conversation, because that conversation should not have happened the way it did. Yeah, that was wrong. But then Harriet spins it around, runs into the dressing room, crying her eyes out. How dare he talk to me like that? How dare he? Guys, I was saying a couple of episodes ago how I thought that Harriet was probably the most attractive person on there for me. Her personality is... I actually couldn't. That is bad. That's really absolutely terrible. I could not be with someone that would gaslight me like that. The way that he's just gone, is that all? And then walked off because he wants to get out of an uncomfortable situation that you have pulled him into. And then you're claiming the way he spoke to me, like he screamed and shouted in your face. Get a grip. Actually get a grip. Because if I have to watch Harriet cry one more time, I'm going to punch somebody. And obviously Nicole's come in and gone, what? And she's like, you can have him. You can have him. And then Nicole's obviously gone over to Kieran and gone, what has happened? And Kieran's explained the situation. And obviously Nicole's like, well, thanks for picking me. And then Harriet has come out after being gassed up by Patsy. Patsy's kind of been like, yeah, I think you should go out. I think you should beef him. And Harriet's like, yeah, let's go. She goes out and she just has an argument with him. And for a 21-year-old, the way he handled that conversation was impressive. And I'll tell you for why. Is he in the wrong? That's up for debate. It's not my place to say whether he is in the wrong or not, because it's literally, we're 4 days in, maybe 5. No, 4. We're going to go with 4 days in. And already Harriet has cried over this man twice, even though all they've done is kiss once. So it just feels too much too soon. Too many emotions too soon. But it does feel like she is gaslighting him and trying to make him out to look like a villain. But it's having the reverse effect, because we're watching it and we're seeing him handle himself very, very well. She's come over to him, basically screaming and shouting, hysterically crying, and he is sitting there trying to get his point across, and every time he raises his voice or he gets slightly angry, he brings himself back and he goes, nope, I don't want to raise my voice, I don't want to get angry. And I thought that was really mature. For a 21-year-old, that's mature. I've seen plenty of older people on this show that aren't as mature as him in that respect. And the fact that she then turns his age on him and goes, oh yeah, because you're just 21, etc., etc., that was a low blow. That was not nice. That was nasty. What is she, 24? She's acting like a 13-year-old that's crying over a One Direction poster because they won't love her. It's pathetic, and she needs to get a grip. So the next day, Patsy and Jess have a bit of an argument in the dressing room. Patsy's basically pissed off because she's heard a comment that Jess has made on the previous night about her not being a very good friend to Harriet. And it all stemmed from basically Jess being like, yeah, I wouldn't have done that. I wouldn't have told you to go and blow up at him because I think it makes you look worse. I think it makes you look this. I think it makes you look that. And Harriet was like, oh, but you said XYZ. And Jess was like, I don't think I did. I'll be 100% honest. I don't remember her saying it. It might have happened. It might not have happened. But I don't remember hearing it. So I can't comment on it. But Patsy was just pissed off because she was like, how dare you insinuate that I'm not a real friend because I told her to I suggested she did that. I didn't tell her to do that. And she suggested it. And Jess was like, well, I just wouldn't have said it. I wouldn't have wanted my friends to be in that situation because I think it makes them look worse. And I thought, actually, Jess, you're right. Big props there. I don't know what's happened in the last couple of days. I think it's her friendship with Harriet, but I'm not vibing with Patsy anymore. Not vibing with her. Yeah, not ideal. Not ideal in the slightest. So that does bring us to the recoupling, and I gotta say, this entire recoupling, I was really worried that one person was going to be going home. And me and my friend were just sitting there absolutely bricking it because we were like, oh my God, please don't. No, you can't. No, you can't send her home. No, you can't, surely not. So Uma, obviously, as the new girl, got to pick first, and she picked Io. My friend seemed to think she was going to pick Joey, and I was like, nah, she's picking Io, surely. But then we were like, does that mean that Mimi's going home? No, Mimi can't go home. Please, no, don't send Mimi home. There'll be riots on the streets. Ronnie chose Jess, but Ronnie, I don't know what he was thinking when he said this, but his speech was genuinely one of the worst recoupling speeches I've ever heard on this show. It was borderline rude, is what it was. Because he was basically like, oh yeah, there's this girl that really makes me laugh, but with recent events, my eyes have been opened and I'm willing to look in a different direction. And then he was basically like, oh, blah, 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 talking about like how he wants to get with other girls. And then he was like, but the person I'm going to be coupling up with is the person that makes me smile. And I was like, why would you say that? Why? Why? What did you get out of this? Because then obviously Jess is like, well, thanks for picking me, but fuck you for that speech. Because that was muggy as hell. That made me look like such a dick up there. What was that about? And Ronnie's like, what? What have I done? What have I done? What have I done? So up next we had Joey choosing Samantha. We had Kieran choosing Nicole, obviously. I'm happy those two are together. There was a really cute moment where the night before, after the whole Harriet argument, Kieran chose to sleep on the daybed and Nicole came out and gave him a cuddle and a kiss before bed. Oh my God, it's so cute. Then we had Sean choosing Harriet. Sean is really trying to get with Harriet and I just don't see that she's got any interest in him whatsoever. So we'll see how that goes. And then last but not least, we have Munvir and Patsy, which did leave Mimi all on her own. And I was like, not Mimi. No, I like Mimi. She's so sweet. But fortunately, she's just single and Omar was outside waiting for her. So that is literally the end of the 2 episodes. Thank you guys very, very much for watching. I hope you guys have enjoyed. Make sure to like, comment and subscribe and do all of those YouTube things that you guys do so well. We are on our way to 1,000 subscribers, so make sure you are helping us reach that goal. But until then, I'll see you guys later. Keep on ranting, and make sure you stay tuned for The Traitors US Season 2 starting next Wednesday. So, without much further ado, see you later. Bye now.